Okay, so for this video, I want to make a few comments about tying company culture into marketing material that your prospects will actually care about. Company overview videos are largely a thing of the past. They're not really something that a prospect really cares about. They're not here to learn that you have a combined 50,000 years of experience and how much passion and excellence you have, right? They're not here to learn those things. That was something that maybe, got some goosebumps way back when video started to become a thing, but we're well past that point now. Here's where it's still relevant, right? The relevancy has to do, and I commented on a couple videos ago about this, is separation in the market. Creating separation, creating identity so that a prospect can know not that your people are passionate and not that you bring excellence to the table, but they can know what to expect and how you're different and what that's all about. For example, probably anyone watching this video has experienced a creative project where they engaged with an agency and there was a tremendous amount of time and just sort of a vortex black hole of time sink, and the project became agony after a while as you attempted to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and get the correct shade of magenta and how should we do this, how should we do it, and the details became engrossing. Richter, on the other hand, as an agency, is at the other end of the spectrum of that. We are not here to be a black hole for your time. We are professionals. We've done over 5,000 video projects, and we're here to get the job done. Yes, we'll need points of where we need data and approvals and things like that throughout the process. But this project isn't going to be like that experience. See, that's a separation in the market, and it has to do with our company culture. It has to do with who we are. So that's a major point to take up. Now, you also have to be careful of your language that you use when you're doing something like a marketing video. And I've hammered on these a little bit, and I apologize if some people really enjoy the language of things like passion and excellence in their marketing material. I don't mean to totally degrade them, but when certain words and phrases and things like this become used by everybody, they start to become meaningless. Right, so obviously at Richter, you can tell I'm passionate, and you can tell he probably strives to bring a very strong game to what he's doing. So he probably has some excellence involved, but that's not how I'm going to promote myself or Richter or our company in any way, because when the words get too high level, they start to become meaningless. Saving time and money, that starts to become meaningless since it's basically what everybody in the market is communicating. So you want to get away from that kind of messaging when you're doing overview, and you want to get back to the separation in the market, expression of company culture, but not in high-level words, right? Company culture here is taking work off your plate, being someone who's going to lead the way and carry the baton so that you don't have to, and a company that basically is just going to, like that's who we are as a creative agency. And then also another one is, and here's another one where I want separation in the market for Richter, is creative agencies and video companies that make video are viewed as video shops. We are many companies, they're considered we can source a video from here. We need to buy a video from there. And that's not what Richter wants to be thought of, because that's not who we are. So in creating something like a company overview video, we would lean towards, number one, I talked about the time, like getting out of that vortex of time. But another one is strategy. Richter is a strategic agency. We are a communications agency, and we have a lot of understanding of strategy in terms of the sales process, what the buyer's journey is, what's effective in marketing, not just what's effective in video, but what's effective in the mindset of the prospect. How do they think? How do they move along that decision path to become a client? It's expertise in sales and marketing. So that's in creating something like a company overview for us. That's the separation that you'd see. Now, this team is very much handpicked for any person holding a position at Richter. There are 9 others that didn't make the cut. right? So we have a very thoroughbred group here. We do have a lot of passion for what we do, and we do bring a tremendous amount of excellence to the table, and we do save you time, and we do save you money, but none of those things are things that I or anyone here would be mentioning, right? So you need to bring the language down to a level that can be easily grasped in terms of real world activity. Like, it has to make sense in the real world. You're not going to push button market in the B2B space. You might be able to do that with Coca-Cola. I could use a Coke right now or something like that. You might be able to push button people in the B2C space when the transaction is like, here's $1 and give me my Coke or something like that. But it's not going to play out the same way in the B2B space. Even when you're with broad promotion and getting your brand thought of a certain way, you don't want to use the push button approach. You want to go very granular. You want to communicate very exactly. You don't want to say we're a data analytics company that makes it so that you can see where all of your information is and how all your data is used. That doesn't communicate. It doesn't cut it, because it doesn't mean enough to the person, and it also doesn't separate you out in the market. So anyway, just those are some tips, some food for thought, some things to think about, and hope that helps. Look, we have a great incentive to finish out the year. There's a flyer attached below that you can see, and it's a good opportunity to get a strong package of videos plus our enlightenment page, which is a very strong tool that we use in our own strategies. That's another thing. Always use the things that you sell in all cases, and that way you can get your people to be the cheerleaders for your products. Side note, last little thing I want to comment on company culture. I'll probably do another video on this. I just wanted to bring it up though. Listen to what your people are saying about your own company. I've noticed now and again in my 7 years here in sales that sometimes someone that I'm talking to, and I understand why, they'll communicate this, and this does have to do with branding and your company culture. They'll communicate, things move slow around here. That's not something you ever want anyone in your organization to say. Right? It doesn't even matter if it's true. You don't want it said, you don't want it thought, you want your people to think, and that's just one example, right? You can look into your own company and your own people, and you can see we want to start to weed out the different things or thoughts or ideas that people have, and sometimes you need to weed out a person, which is not what anybody really wants to do. But you have to keep your company culture super duper in check, because that's the thing that's going to be promoted outward from you, from your company. And it's going to go on communication lines that you can't monitor all the time. So you have to really pay attention to what your people are saying, really pay attention to what they're thinking, because what they think and what they say, that's going to get outside the doors of your company, and that's going to become your brand to people you care about in very sort of ways that you can't really monitor or measure. So it really starts with your people. Make sure that they know. See, now there's the internal message. We are passionate around here. We do provide excellence in our service, and we move fast, right? We're a fast-moving company. No matter how big Richter gets, we're going to be a fast-moving company, and every single person in here is going to have that thought and think that way, right? Anyway, I could go on and on, but you get the idea. So also check internally and make sure and listen to what your people are saying and instruct them on the actual company culture. And don't let that communication get outside your doors. It doesn't even matter what the truth is. Yes, you want it to also be true. You can grow that. But fake it till you make it sometimes is a good phrase. So anyway, that's it. Some comments about company culture and branding and how to express it in overview type content and how not to. Okay.